Hi, my name is Tara, and if you're new to my channel, I post different types of tarot videos. I do the regular, I haven't done pick a cards yet, but I've done like collective readings. But I also do a, I use analytical psychology. I'm not a psychologist. I don't want you to think I'm a psychologist. I'm not trying to bamboozle you into thinking that I know what I'm talking about. And I do know what I'm talking about in the sense of I know these tarot cards and I know what they represent and I know the different versions of the tarot. I do know the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith version, which is what I use when I do my collective readings and things like that. But this is a little bit different. This is the double major deck. And I'm using Carl Jung's version of the tarot. I'm not using the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. I'm using Carl Jung's version. If you don't know who he is, you can look him up. He's a psychologist, Swiss psychologist. He's passed. He's passed. If you've heard of Freud, he and Freud worked together for a while before they broke off. They obviously had two differing opinions on psychology, two different theories. But I am using Carl Jung's version of the tarot, and today we are going to talk about Scott Peterson. Now, this is a reading that I don't want to say I'm excited to do because I wish that none of these events had happened. But I feel connected to this case in some sense. I grew up in Fresno, California. This took place in Modesto, California. Amber Fry, I assume you know who she is if you're on this video. Amber Fry lived in Fresno. I actually used to see Amber Fry at the grocery store like all the time. Like my mom and I used to see her when I would go with my mom to the grocery store. And I watched this case as a very, very young child. I followed it. This is kind of creepy, but every time we went to the lake after this, and it was not the same body of water that Laci and Connor were found in, but in my head, I knew it was close. So anytime I would go to the lake after this, I would always think about how they were found, and it kind of in some odd way traumatized me. This case was crazy to me. I remember waiting to see if Connor had been born before. I remember I watched the news a lot as a kid and I followed this like crazy because I knew it happened in California, and I'm born and raised in California, and I knew who Amber Fry was. I had seen her before and we didn't know her, and my mom obviously always made sure that I knew not to stare, but I don't know, it was so odd seeing someone in person that had gone through, I mean, obviously Amber Fry wasn't, harmed, but just to see it in person in some sense is kind of crazy. I have had family that lived in Modesto. So anyway, sorry, we're going to get into the reading on Scott Peterson. This is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So the Knight of Swords in this deck, so obviously it's a male card, and obviously we're talking about a man. It's kind of funny. It's the idealistic sun in this deck. The Knight of Swords, Prince of Swords, whatever. The idealistic sun, which is honestly, I feel like very much how he was described. If I remember correctly, he has a lot of siblings, and I think he has a lot of half siblings. I think he is his only child from both of his parents. I think that both of his parents had kids before they got married, and then when they got married, they had him. And I think he is also often referred to, or was often referred to, as the golden child. I mean, they loved him. He was in a lot of ways the idealistic son up until he wasn't. So what else do we have to describe Scott Peterson? And I'm just getting so normally I have a whole spread that I go through, and I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to see what the cards pull out first, and these few cards that come out first are going to represent him before before the crime was committed. I don't know what words I can and can't say on YouTube, so I'm just going to say crimes. Okay, I'm going to use this one. And the King of Pentacles. I believe this is the King of Pentacles in the upright position. The King of Pentacles is the responsible father. So in his head, before these crimes were committed, he was going from the idealistic son to the responsible father. Obviously, we know that he has had many affairs. He was a serial cheater. And, I mean, I guess technically a serial killer, right? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we would classify him. Maybe not. Maybe serial killer is pushing it. But I do find this interesting. I feel like in some ways he just really didn't want to grow up. He didn't like the idea of going from son to father. And I know that they had talked about wanting to have a baby for a while before she got pregnant. But I definitely think that something about that shift, maybe just something about getting older, that is something that triggered a response in him. And I do want it on the record. I do think Scott Peterson committed these crimes, and I do think that the DNA should be tested on the mattress and the duct tape, because I know that he's in the process of trying to get a new trial. I don't think he needs a new trial, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be testing the DNA. I mean, it would only further prove, because quite frankly, it was all fairly circumstantial evidence. I don't think there was any direct evidence. But, I mean, it is a little suspicious that he went fishing in the exact same body of water that she was found in. I mean, and he had been telling his mistress, I don't even want to call her a mistress. She didn't know he was married. And I, like Amber Fry, have fallen victim to dating someone that I thought was single, and they weren't. So I couldn't even fathom, after finding out that I was dating somebody that was actually married, the shock of that. And then the shock of finding out that he probably committed this horrible crime to his wife. Like, I couldn't fathom being her. Like, I really couldn't. And if I ever saw her again, I know she wants her privacy. Like, I definitely don't. I've never walked up to her and I've never spoken to her, but like, honestly, I am so proud of her. She did exactly what she needed to do. She did exactly what she should do. And for that, I'm very proud of her. Especially because I'm pretty sure her daughter was only like 2 at the time, or was just getting ready to turn 2. She was a single mom. Like, she really got involved. And I will never stop singing Amber Fry's praises. Like, she literally did exactly what she should have done. So now I'm going to go ahead and shift to his mindset during the crime, when the crime was being committed. What was Scott Peterson's mindset while the crime was being committed? Oh my God, the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Wow. And this is the Knight of Swords in reverse. Wow. That blows my mind. Gosh. So this is the Knight of Swords upright. The Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel like he was like really, really, really trying to cling on to the image of the idealistic son. And I feel like that was the main motive. I feel like he just didn't want people to know that he was having an affair. He felt like he wasn't going to be able to continue to have these affairs if he had a baby. A baby was going to weigh him down. Like, I fully believe that. And this, to me, just like confirms it. This man fully just fell off his horse, got off. Oh, wow. And I don't think we know her cause of death. I think it's speculated that it was strangulation. No, not strangulation. Yeah, no. I don't know that we know. I think we just speculate that he maybe smothered her. I don't think that stabbing's an option, but I do believe that she was very badly decomposed and there was really no way to know exactly how she died. But yeah, no, I think he just full on put a stop to, he just wanted to put a stop to it all, I feel like. I mean, this man who was going full force on this horse, just got off and is trying to like protect himself. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's all of this was to just protect his image as the idealistic son. Wow. Okay, so what was his mind like after the murder, when she was missing, before they found her? Judgment. I know he says that he I think he thought that it was done. I don't think that I think they thought he would never, oh my gosh, I can't even speak. I think that he thought that they would never find the bodies. I think that he really thought that this was over. It was done. Everything was over. We're good. I get to move on. I get to have my new life. I get to find someone else and do this all over again with someone else. That is how I feel like he felt while she was missing and they had not found her. And it was months. I mean, months and months. I think it wasn't until like mid or beginning of April, and she went missing Christmas Eve. Like, I mean, it was months that they were looking for her, and I'm under the impression that they couldn't arrest him because they didn't have bodies. And if they didn't have the bodies, then they couldn't arrest him. I really think that he thought that he had gotten away with it. I really do. What was his mindset in court? What was Scott Peterson's mindset during his trial? I hate to say that I find him fascinating, but he's just, I don't know. He gives me a bit of an ick, especially now. He does not look good, and that's coming from someone who likes older men. Page of Swords. I find it interesting that we finally have a female card. The Page of Swords represents him, how he felt during his trial. The Page of Swords in this deck is the controlling daughter. It's also swords. Like, he was very in his head. But this is in reverse. I think he really just felt very out of control and somewhat emasculated during his trial. I know he says that he really thought that he was going to be found innocent, but quite frankly, I'm pretty sure the jury came back very quick, and I don't have any idea how. Usually when a jury comes back that fast, it's guilty, and I to me, in my mind, I can't fathom how he felt in control. Like, he had been arrested, he was incarcerated, he was in prison, or he was in jail waiting for his trial and then his sentence. But yeah, I feel like he felt like he was completely out of control and wanted to hide. I think that I haven't watched the Peacock documentary. I probably won't, or whatever it is. I have no interest. I say I'm fascinated by him, but quite frankly, I'm not fascinated enough to dig into his side of the story. I don't really care about his side of the story. Do think the DNA should be tested on the tape and the mattress. I do agree with that. Technology has totally evolved even since the last time they tested it. I think they tested it in 2019, or they tested something in 2019. But yeah, no, I think they should go back and test it. I have no doubt in my mind that this man probably has convinced himself that he is innocent and he is a victim. And while he's been in prison, I fully believe that. Gosh, that's crazy that it was a feminine card, the first feminine card that we've had, and it's the controlling daughter in reverse. He just felt totally out of control. He was just in my head, spiraling during that case. Queen of Swords, another swords. This is the diplomatic mother. The diplomatic mother. This, to me, I'm taking this as him now. I view this as his mindset now. The diplomatic mother. I think that he really just wants to come across like he's innocent. I fully believe that his reputation is the most important thing to him right now, and has always been the most important thing to him. And I think that's why he didn't just get a divorce and say he had been cheating on his wife for who knows how long with who knows how many people. It was more than one. It was more than just Amber Fry. Amber Fry was just the one that he said to her, this is going to be my first Christmas without my wife, weeks before she went missing. there's no doubt in my mind that he did this. He committed this crime. And there's no doubt in my mind that his reputation and what people think of him is all he cared about, has ever cared about, and all he will ever care about. Anyway, that's it. I don't know. I don't really feel a need to pull any more cards. This was a pretty interesting string of cards. Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, all he cares about is how he looks and how people perceive him. And I don't think he cares about anything else or anyone else. I think he completely disregards other people's feelings. Obviously, he just wants his reputation back. I think he just wants to go back to the way he thought his life would be once he thought that he was going to get away with it. I think he just wants to go back to that life. Also, I'm just pointing out, I'm pretty sure when they found him close to the border, I'm refraining from using the term fleeing, but when they found him close to the border with all that cash, I'm pretty sure he also had Viagra pills, so that tells you exactly where his head was and that tells you what his priority was. He just, I think, wants a woman to worship him, quite frankly, is how I feel about him. All right, that's the end of this reading. If you liked it, let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you think they should test the DNA? Do you think he should get a new trial? What do you think? How do you feel about his death sentence being overturned to life without parole? How do you feel about it? Let me know. Let me know who else you want me to do this with. I've done several of these already. I have thought about doing Stephen Stearns, but quite frankly, he disgusts me and I don't want to. But I think for the first time ever, I might do this on somebody who hasn't been charged with a crime, and I might do it on Jen Soto. This is referring to the Madeline Soto case. I'm contemplating it. I have a lot of opinions about her, and I don't know. I don't feel like she should be exempt from anything, honestly. I feel like she needs to be punished in some way. Not that I'm going to punish her, but I fully believe that she's definitely guilty of being a bad mom. One of the worst moms. So let me know if you want me to do one on her. I don't think Stephen Stearns is an option for me. I have no interest in that stupid sack of bones. No interest in him. He just completely disgusts me, and I don't know that I want to read him. But maybe if I do one on Jen Soto, maybe I'll pull a couple cards and see where that takes me for him. But I hope that you liked this. Please comment down below. Anything at all. Mean, nice. As long as you're only being mean to me and you're not being mean to other people in the comments, you go for it. Okay? Have a great day, night, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are when you see this. And I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye.